Welcome to Lower Makefield's Zoning Board of Adjustment hearing. Zoning Hearing Board. Anyway, on February 4th. We're going to have first appeal on the agenda. Hold on, first, let me go to this. Yes. So tonight, there's only 4 members of the board. So what that means is, in order for you to win your appeal, you need a 3-to-1 vote. 2-to-2, a tie is considered a loss. So before we vote, if you would like a continuance, we can grant it, or right now, if you know you want a continuance, we can grant it. So we have 2 people in here. We have Miller BASIL and we have Miller STICKLEY. Based on the fact that we only have 4 members, to either of those parties like a continuance right now? Okay, so again, prior to us taking a vote, we'll just remind you that you have that ability to request a continuance. Okay, let's proceed to the appeals. So first up on our agenda is Appeal Z25-1. That's for Miller BASIL, 245 Aspen Road. Please come forward and be sworn in.
Would you each state and spell your full name, please?
Eric BASIL.
Tracy Miller, Tracy.
Okay, before you...
You both sound swear affirm testimony about the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth?
Yes.
Thank you.
So before you present your case, we're going to have Adam read into the exhibits.
You can sit.
All right, we have the application as A1, one-sheet site plan as A2, B1, proof of publication, B2, proof of posting, and B3, notice to the neighbors.
Okay, so why don't you take your time and tell us why you're here?
So I'm Tracy Miller, the architect. The Basils came to me looking to do an addition to their home. They have a colonial that does not have a basement, and they have 2 growing children, and they would like to have some more space. So they are looking to put an addition on the rear of the house to put an enlarged living area in the rear of the house, and then a kind of playroom upstairs for the kids. The property does not currently exceed its impervious cover limit. It's at 24.7%, and 26% is permitted. However, with the new space, they're looking at 27.7%. There's no setback variances or anything required. It's simply for the impervious cover.
Pretty straightforward.
Yeah.
All right, so I'll open it up to the board.
Question for Dan here. The current part of the house is currently set back 13.6.5. Is that something that needs to be dealt with?
No, I think the township will just consider that an existing nonconformity.
Okay. Next question is, I see you have a trench on here, but there's no grading plan. So how does that relate to the grading on the property?
The lot is pretty flat, so it will obviously have to be regraded to allow that trench to work, but there's nothing that would impede that from happening.
Any plans to possibly tie a rain leader into the trench?
Yes. Anything that, we were planning on anything from the new construction or anything at that end of the house would go into the trench.
Okay, thank you. Anybody else? Judy?
Just kind of looking, again, I wonder how, you're going to be able to grade it so that, but I understand with downspouts, et cetera, that helps. But, I just wondered also, if it's flat, how you're going to get water to go, it flows down, it doesn't just lay there.
Right, right. So the water we were attempting to capture is from the building, not so much from the lot. I don't think that that there's typically any water that runs off of the lot. I don't.
All right, then that shouldn't be a problem.
And then the impervious brings it back down to the existing impervious, which is below the allowable. So I think the stormwater is fine.
But aren't they supposed to mitigate for all new construction anyways with it? So they're just meeting your standard requirement
Yes,
for
well,
construction?
no, so they are doing that. They are mitigating the 407 square feet of proposed impervious, so they are doing that.
So Dan, I'm understanding that we're going back to an effective of 24.7?
Correct.
Thank you. Christian, anything?
Nope.
All right. Any public comment in the room? And I don't see the light on, so that means there's no public comment online. Before we take a vote, board, anything else you'd like to discuss?
Have you talked to your neighbors about the addition? I realize that it's not a setback issue here, but are they aware of it?
They are aware. Yeah, we have a we have a close relationship with them, and we have talked to them about it. Yeah, they're aware. Yep.
All right. Would a member like to make a motion?
I will. I move that we accept Appeal Z 25-1 Miller Basil as presented with the subject to the township engineer.
Subject to the township engineer approving
Approving of
the construction of the
construction
infiltration.
and the filtration system. Thank you.
I'll second.
Discussion?
Nope.
All those in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Aye. Good luck.
Thank you. Appreciate it.
Next up on the agenda, Z 25-2, Miller Stickley. Please come forward and
You can have a seat, Mr. Stickley.
please come forward and be sworn in.
Eugene Stickley, Stickley.
Tracy Miller, TRACY.
Do you both solemnly swear or affirm the testimony you're about to give shall be the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth?
I do.
All right, Adam, will you read the exhibits in, please?
Sure, we have the application as A1. We have the one-sheet plan, which was labeled as ST-1. We're going to mark that as A2. The two-sheet building plans, A3. The impervious surface breakdown, along with the stormwater management. Small project volume control will collectively mark that as A4. B1, proof of publication. B2, proof of posting. And B3, notice to the neighbors.
So before we begin, I'm just going to have to recuse myself. I have a friendly relationship with Eugene right here, so ethically it wouldn't make sense for me to weigh in on this matter. So having threes, we're fine, Adam, with 3 people voting, I assume?
Good, and Peter's back in the driver's seat, so, you know.
So, Pete, you're going to take over, buddy.
Okay, well, go ahead and present on what you have here then. It's also presented on the screen too, so.
Go ahead.
And me?
And make sure you stay close to the microphone.
We purchased the house in 2014 without a
My
garage.
whole job, Peter, is for people to speak into the mic. I'm sorry, Mr.
I'll speak into the mic, thank you. We bought the house in 2014 without a garage, and we wanted to put in a 2-car garage, which is similar to some of the other homes in the neighborhood. So we had the design built, and I guess we're outside some of the, I guess the impervious and that's why Tracy's here.
Yes, so this one is over on, it has a side setback 15 feet required, and the addition would put them at 9 feet 2 inches. And also over on impervious, currently 19.2%, which is under the 24 that's permitted. The addition puts them at 25.3%.
Questions from the board?
With the setback, have you discussed this with your neighbor?
The neighbors on that side are Stephen and Karen Wentworth. We're very friendly with them, and she asked me this evening if she should come to the hearing, and I said only if you have a problem with it. And Karen said then, good luck, and I hope you get your garage.
Okay, thank you.
So, yeah.
Similar question here. There's no grading on the plan you've provided, so what's the lot look like?
The plot slopes down toward Olivia Drive from the back of the property.
To the mic.
Sorry. The plot slopes slightly down toward Olivia Drive from the back of the property, so it naturally grades itself toward the street.
Yep. Thank you. And Dan, I was going to ask for that, so there you go, because we need to see what it looks like relative to the neighbors.
So you can see from the overhead view there that most of these homes were built with either a 1 or 2 car garage. For some reason, this particular lot just wasn't. The original plot plan that Dan had sent me actually did have a 1 car garage on it, but that was never built for some reason.
In regards to drainage then, are you doing similar to the last property with roof drains from
Yes.
or downspouts from the new addition going to that trench?
Yes.
And what will the effective percentage of impervious surface be when it's all completed?
It will go back down to the 19.2%.
This is a little bit different from our usual appeals that we've heard in the past here, Christian, in that because it's new construction, they have to mitigate for every square foot, but they start out below. Lots of times we get appeals where they're already above, and that's where we usually end up with a lot of discussion.
Okay.
I have a question. Did you consider pulling not that this is a huge one, but did you consider pulling the garage forward to be in line with the house?
We did. The houses are built as splits, and we use there is a basement in this house, and there is a first floor, which is considered below grade. We have a window on that we put in, which faces the neighbors, and we did not want to block that window, which provides access, or it's really light to the room. If we closed that window off, that makes that room have no sunlight at all on that side of the house. That's why we designed it with the setback.
Anybody else? Any comment, and anybody in the room here to speak? Okay, and the light is not on. So I guess we'll entertain a motion.
I make a motion that we approve the appeal Z 25-2, granting both the side yard setback variance as well as impervious surface improvements as approved by Township Engineering.
I'll second.
Did I get that right?
Ooh, close enough. All those any discussion? All those in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Okay, motion carries. You're good.
Thank you.
You're so lucky that I recused myself.
I can't believe it was you when I walked in. we're not on the record anymore, right? I
Yeah.
immediately texted Tom Kenny to say that this was happening.
All right. Before I ask for a motion to adjourn, is there any future business? Oh, by the way, you guys are dismissed.
Do we have a agenda for February 18th?
No, there's nothing scheduled.
There's nothing on the agenda?
For February 18th?
Or February 18th, yeah. We're trying to do monthly still, so that's been going good so far, thank God.
So,
We can cancel that.
Yeah, make a motion to cancel the
I'll
meeting
make
on
a motion
February 18th.
Yeah, I will make a motion that we cancel the February 18th meeting as there is nothing on the agenda.
And then, sorry,
all those in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
and there's 4 scheduled for March 4th. So, you know, we'll still try to have them monthly, but if we need to, we might have to have 2, but.
Do we have anything hanging in any of our historical stuff that is bigger still hanging around? Or I don't think we do, right?
Like pending zoning hearing board stuff?
Yeah, continuances.
Any outstanding continuances? I don't think there's
No,
anything major.
no, I think the wireless tower's kind of in.
Yeah, that came in.
That's
Yeah,
kinda-
expired.
Yeah, that expired, and then I think
How about the dog, the kennel?
they're requesting a conditional use tomorrow. There's a hearing for that, but I don't believe there's been anything submitted for variances.
How about potential?
Have to go through that first, and then they might need some zoning relief, but
It's
think that-
before the board tomorrow night.
Yep.
So anybody who wants to talk about 100 dogs being boarded at a kennel, they should, let us know what they think.
it's right by the school.
It's right by the daycare center that my kids went to. So it's on tomorrow night, so if anybody has any concerns, they should let the board know.
My dogs were at Holiday House for a year, 2 years. My dogs were at Holiday House up in Doylestown for 2 years, and they have quite a few dogs, both daycare and boarding. And I was extremely surprised because it was so well-run that the dogs were so engaged. They didn't even bark when the cars came up. It was like, and I think a lot has to do with who's running it and how they engage the dogs, not just put them somewhere and leave them. I know when you just put them and leave them, they will bark. But mine were very engaged.
As long as we're talking about potential appeals, is there anything on Shady Brook upcoming?
No.
All right, that's all I want to ask about it here.
All right. Any further discussion? All right. Can I get a motion to adjourn?
I move we adjourn.
Second?
All those in favor?
Aye.
Aye.